Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. O'Mara. Okay, in today's lesson, our learning target is I can use a number line to solve word problems involving time intervals within 1 hour. So what I'd like to do is look back at our application problem that said Patrick and Lily start their chores at 5 o'clock p.m. The clock shows what time Lily finishes. The number line shows what time Patrick finishes. We found out that Patrick finished at 5:31 and Lily finished at 5:41. What I would like for you to do is to pull out your timeline and stick it into your plastic sleeve, and we're going to solve how much time, how much faster did Patrick finish his chores than Lily? So what I would like for you to do is to go ahead and label your timeline 0 on one end and 60 on the other. So 0 on one end and 60 on the other, if you will. Okay? All right. So my timeline looks like this, 0 to 60. Let me see if I can make it just a little bigger. Little bigger. Okay. All right. So you see that I have 0 and 60. So what we want to find out is, let's go ahead and plot our times. 5:31. So we're going to pretend like this is the hour of the 5 o'clock hour to the 6 o'clock hour. Okay. So let's go ahead and plot them. So we know 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 5:31 is about here. And then 5:43, 35, 40, 41, 42, and 43 is about right here, because then 44, 45. So let me make that a different color. So 43 is about right there. So I'm going to make it a little bigger. Okay, so my question to you is, we could find out how much faster Patrick finished for Lily. So what I'd like to know is, what is the difference between the times? How many more minutes did Patrick finish, or how much longer did Lily take than Patrick to finish their chores? How would you solve that problem? Go ahead and decide right now how you would solve that problem. I'll give you a few minutes. Okay, let's think about this a minute. So, what is one possible way that you could figure out the difference between the two? If you said counting up to from 31 to 43, you are correct. We could start with 31, and we could count up to 43 by ones. So if we did that, we would count 32, 33, 34, 35, which gives us 4, right? And then 5 more, 9, plus 3 more, 10, 11, 12. So we could count up, and that's 12 minutes. How else did you figure it out? Did you subtract 31 from 43? You could do that, and that gives you 12 minutes. Anybody do a different way? Did anybody count backwards from 43 to 31? You could do that, yep. Now, I could know that from 31 to 40, if I said from 31 to 40, I know that's 9 minutes. correct? And then all I had to do was add 3 more minutes onto it. That also gives me 12 minutes. So there's many ways to work through this. Did you get it? Awesome. Well, let's try another one. All right, so go ahead and erase. And let's do some start times. So let me erase. So what I want you to do is to use your number line again, erase what you have on there. I'm going to give you a new one to try. Okay, here we go. Well, let's say that we started our homework assignment at 6:15, and it took us 23 minutes to complete. What time did I finish my homework assignment? What time did I finish my homework assignment? So I started at 6:15 and I ended 23 minutes later. So go ahead and plot that on your timeline. Okay, so did you put your 6 o'clock? So we know we're starting in the 6 o'clock hour, correct? So let's plot it. Where is 6:15? Well, 5, 10, right on our 15 mark. Now, there's many ways to do this. If it's 23 minutes, I would break apart the 20 and then add 3 later. Because what could I count by if I did it by 10, if I did it with a 20? Sure, I could count by 5s, or I could count by 10s. I'm going to count by 5s. How many 5s are in 20? Well, let's see. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So that is at 6:35. And what do I need to add to it? You are correct. 3 more minutes. So let's add 3 more minutes. 36, 37, 38. What time did we stop? At 6:38. Did you get it? Awesome. Now there's many ways you could do that. You could go ahead and add my 23 on to 15. And I could get that time of 6:38, right? Okay. So there are several ways that you can figure out how much time it takes you to do something or someone else, or how much time is in between a start and stop time. It's always the known and unknown. On this one, we already knew what time we started, and we knew how many minutes it took us to get our homework. We just had to figure out what time did we end. Let's try one more. And this time we'll have our known and unknown differently. So let me erase mine. So this time, I know what time I'm going to start, like Patrick and Lily did. And we know what time they end. Well, actually, we did know what time they started. So we're going to do the same idea, okay? So this time, I'm going to give you a start time and an end time, and I want you to determine how many minutes are elapsed in between, how much time went by. So let's say that I decided to read my book, and I started in the 4 o'clock hour. Okay, so I started in the 4 o'clock hour. So let's say that I started reading my book at 4:33. So let's plot 4:33. And then I ended reading at 4:58. How much time did it take me to read, or how much time did I enjoy reading my book if I started at 4:38 and I ended at 4:58? Well, let's go ahead and plot it. So we started at 4 o'clock something, right? So we started at 4:33. So we can count by fives till we get to 4:30, 4:31, 4:32. Here's 4:33. Okay. And it says I ended at 4:58. Well, if I know this is 55, I need to add 3 more. So I'm at 4:58, 55, 56, 57, 58. Okay. So let me go ahead and change colors so we can see a difference. So this is at 4:33, 4:34, 4:35. Okay. So remember, we want to find how much time did I enjoy reading starting at 4:33 and ending at 4:58. How would you work this problem? Okay, well, let's think about it. We could subtract 58 minus 33, and that gives us 25 minutes. Well, let's see if we're correct. So I'm going to count up. So I'm going to start at 43 and I'm going to 33, and I'm going to count to 35. 33, 34, 35. Well, how many minutes is that? We just found out that's 2 minutes from here to here. Okay? Now, the good news is, could I continue to count by minutes? Absolutely. I can keep counting by minutes all the way until I get to 4:58. But what I could do is go ahead and now add 5 minutes each time. So I have 2, I have 5 minutes. I have another 5 minutes, plus 5 minutes, plus 5 minutes. Could I have added 10s? Absolutely. Now, I don't want to go another 5 minutes because I know that I'm at 58. So let's see where we are. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. Now let's count to 58. 23, 24, 25. So because 55 to 58 is 3 minutes. So if we total 5, 10, 15, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25 minutes. So that is how much elapsed time there is from when I started reading my book to the end. Okay? Good job. Now try your problem set.